As we celebrate Pride Month, Queer Onda El Paso is taking an audio snapshot of the different families in our community. In today's episode, we talk to Dina and Bea Perez, a lesbian married couple who met in 2012. Welcome, Dina and Bea.
Hi, guys. Hi.
So I wanted to get down to the very beginnings and talk about how did you all meet?
That's interesting. She actually walked into my house. When people say,
"Wow." Well, we're just all, none of us are that lucky, Dina.
Right.
What happened?
I was having it was a cookout for a friend, a cookout and swimming little party, 10 people or something like that. And, a few people invited a few people, and then and that's kind of where Bea walked in and we met. But I guess, it wasn't like instantaneously like we started, I don't know, making eye contact or dating or anything like that. That didn't happen for a week later because, we're lesbians. So
you waited the respectful 1 week.
Right?
And then you got married.
And then we got married. Well, the U-Haul first. But yeah, so you can give your version to that, Bea.
No, I mean, I know that when I walked into Dina's house, not knowing it was her house, and I saw her, I remembered her from maybe the year prior to Paso Sun City Pride Parade, because I was the parade coordinator. And I remember seeing her, and I was like, oh, my gosh, that's her. Like, it kind of connected the two. And so I was like, okay, And
Dina, you had worked on the parade as well, right?
I was always in the parade. Yeah, I was always in the parade. And at that time, I put my employer's RV in the parade. And I remember when we first met, and I didn't even realize it was the same person. I was, it was one of those high intensity moments where we were all lining up and got there, and she's basically telling me to take the RV to the back or something like that. And I was like, you know what? Well, let me talk to the right person. So, fast forward a year later, like I said, had this little cookout. She walks into the house. Ironically, that same week, I was going to the elections for Sun City Pride because they had invited me to that. I didn't realize Bea served on the board for them. And then, we got to talking and we hit it off, and here we are.
And did you all date right away? I mean, did you all agree to go on a date? And then what was your first date like?
We did. You want to tell them?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so we had planned a date, and we were going to go to an art exhibit that was happening downtown, and so we went to go eat some appetizers before that. Then we went over to the art exhibit, and then we ended up at a little wine pub type thing. That's like a little I forgot the name of it, out here on the east side, and literally we just talked until probably 3 a.m. in front of her parents' house, because at that time Bea was living with her parents. So we after having our leaving the restaurant, we just parked in front of her parents' house and we talked till like about 3 a.m. and then that was kind of it. And yeah, we dated for a few weeks, and then I had there was a lot of history that I had. There was a lot of rocky start to it, because I had been in a long-term relationship that I was 4 years out of already, and but living in the same house with my ex and my son, and so there's a lot of things that we had to kind of, I guess, put out on the table, share. And I never moved out because I didn't like there was no reason, I guess, at that. I mean, I was living my own life, my own single life with my son, and when B came into my life, it was like, if I want to make this work, I'm going to have to make a decision. And boy, was that making a decision. Moved out of, a home that I was in 25 years almost. And yeah, I moved into a little 2-bedroom apartment. It
was a really, how could I say, a fun, a simple date, first date. And like Dina said, we had a lot to kind of be honest with and transparent, and we were. And from there on, we kind of just built our relationship on that kind of transparency that, we were gonna move in the direction of a relationship, but not completely rush everything, because we were just trying to make sure that it was the right fit for us, especially Dina, having a son, and me, kind of just jumping in and taking in, new people into her life. And it was fun. It was fun to go through that dating period, that the first of many.
And that's where it started. And what's funny is, though B is a lot younger, she's more traditional and it's the dating and then the marriage and then the child. And she wanted to stay true to that. And here we are, 12 years later now?
It'll be 12 this year.
It'll be 12 years, this year. Yeah.
How did, introducing your son into this relationship and into a new person affect your courting with B? Did it play any role in it? Or what were your feelings about that at the time?
Well, first of all, he's always been around women, okay, raised by lesbians and so on. And when he first met her, we had dinner at the apartment I was at. And we had 4 chairs at the dinner table. And he goes and he pulls up the end seat. And he's like, at 9, he was like, well, I'm going to sit over here since I'm the man of the house. And we're like, excuse me? And so, but what was funny is that he started to get to know B, and he kind of immediately developed a crush on her. There was I don't know, there was some girl on some program called Sticker Friends or something like that. And he's like, doesn't she look like the Sticker Friend girl? And I was like, I guess. But he really, really just had a crush on her. And for everything, it was like, B. And they hit it off well. They really, really hit it off well. And I guess it sounds funny to say, but of course they're 17 years apart. So, he's closer to his age in some form or fashion, but so he respected the way, or he really liked her engagement as far as haircuts and dressing, and it was different from the perspective I brought. So they hit it off really well. She won his heart through his stomach, really, because she likes to cook and he likes to eat, and he he likes to watch all these YouTube cooking stuff, and he's like, hey B, you think you can make this? And then she'd be like, let's try it. And so they hit it off really, really well from the get-go.
And now as things progressed and you realized that this was it, I wanted to ask about marriage, and whose idea was it first, and who proposed?
That's a story.
Everything's a story. It was my idea. It was my idea first, and because we always joked, and Dina would say, "Oh, my wife," and I would tell her, "I'm not your wife. Put a ring on it. And I'm not gonna play the part without the title." And I was like, "No," and so I I decided I was going to propose, and I was totally trying to be spontaneous or surprise her, and I was telling her, you know, let's go have lunch, and I was trying to just pick, like, you know, I didn't want to do it like chicos tacos, right? Like, okay. I was like, let's go to like Hanson 11. It was fairly new. Let's go, you know, I was trying to pick somewhere with a vibe, with an environment, you know, something trendy. And Dina, as usual, was taking forever to get ready. She was just kind of like, okay, you know, should we go there? It's kind of pricey. It had just opened, and we were like, I was like, just let's go. And it got later in the day, and there was some type of downtown street festival or something going on. So when we drove down there, they started closing off roads. You know how they do it for street fest?
Yeah.
And I was like, darn, I knew this is, you know, this is later than I expected. But Dina, you know, kind of went around it, and she goes, you know what, we should just, you know what, let's just go to the tap. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this. I was like as real as it gets. We ended up eating at the tap, and I was nervous. And like, oh my God. So then we left, and we're like, okay. And I go, why don't you go drive around, you know, somewhere where it's like a nice little scenic view. And they're like, go to Scenic Drive, go to, what's it called? Like the Franklin Mountains, you know, go to somewhere, you know, nice, you know, we could see sunset, something. And she's driving around McElligin Canyon, like gets to McElligin Canyon, but on the way, she's like, you know, I know this church because, you know, in my funeral industry, we did this here, did this. So she's giving me like tour of El Paso, and I'm just like, just get there.
You just couldn't get to this big moment.
Turning, and those little carports that are there, I go, why don't you park right there? And I think I said it with a tone like more demanding. I was like, there's a lot more. And it was like, just park already. Just park. And we're talking for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, right now, because he's gonna drive off. So yeah, I pulled out the ring, and I proposed to her, and she was a ball of tears, and she's like, no wonder you wanted to go. Number 11, but it took all of it.
Wasn't an easy journey.
In my former life, I'm a mortician, and so I was talking. This is where I picked up somebody here on the street here. I had this experience.
Wow, what a romantic conversation, Dina.
I said yes.
How long have you all been married, legally married?
We got married in 2016, October of 2016.
Okay, so what are the challenges there with marriage? I'm sure that it's true of whether it's a gay relationship or a whatever other kind of relationship. You know, they're challenging. Marriage is a challenge. What are some of your most challenging aspects of a marriage?
We have Patrick, who's now 21, and now we have a 3-year-old, Allie. And Allie was, ironically, she was born on our wedding anniversary date. Our biggest challenge right now is just a conversation or a date night, or to have that, to be after 8:30 at night or something like that, or very early in the morning. So, you know, date nights aren't as frequent, but that's okay. We kind of figure out the balance on all of it. But sometimes it becomes a little bit of a challenge, especially like me being in real estate. Sometimes there's a lot of networking stuff. In a lot of little events that I end up sometimes going alone to, and that's okay. We balance it out because Bee's a very, very scheduled person. So, you know, the baby gets to sleep at the time that she needs to, and the routine is very. I know what to expect every evening in this, and unless we have it planned out, do things really change much as far as our disrupting her schedule? So that's just, it's not that it's, how should I put it? It's just a challenge for us to have that little bit of date night. So when we do have it, it's maybe shortened from like an all night, having a couple bottle of wine night to maybe just having a cup of coffee and chilling out and just and catching up on our day at 9:00 at night.
Could you all be any better lesbians? Seriously. This is amazing. And congratulations to you both for your beautiful family and your wonderful relationship. I think that you all really do exemplify a great partnership.
Join us every Saturday during Pride Month as our spotlight on queer families continues. Available wherever you download your podcasts or on our website, www.queeronda.com. That's www.queeronda.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Email us at feedback@queeronda.com or visit our website and leave a comment.